What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a back from the NBA All-Star edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Obviously, I'm here in Arizona, not in the usual office, but we are ready to rock. We're ready to roll here. Lots of games as we get back from break. Obviously, did not have a show for Wednesday's single game slate. Those single game slates we will not be doing going forward here on the NBA street, simply because so much changes. It's usually one game with injury news, and we had LeBron sitting with a Q tag. Nothing I said was going to matter until we got some understanding of what going on. I ended up firing some Austin Reeves stuff that hopefully can still pan out, even if LeBron plays. They're on a back-to-back, as are the Charlotte Hornets. And then we've got some doubtful tags that are kind of big deals. We've got OG Anunoby questionable. Josh Hart's already ruled out. We've got Victor Wembanyama doubtful. So much to talk through. Lots of things. No locks as we are going to be starting up here. Looked at the Devin Vassell play. Yes, I will talk about that here in 4 or 5, well, longer than that minutes, 10 minutes or so. That's a good guess. But we got tails down below. Yes, promo code Lindy. That is rocking. Lindy50 gets you 50% off your first week or first month. That's going. Plus, coming tomorrow, hopefully I can have all of that updated stuff because we've made some changes to the Discord. It looks all clean and nice over there. And adding one of my good friends. We're going to start having some friends come into the Lindy and Friends Discord, not just Lindy's Locks, because, well, I want to get you more plays. And to get you more plays, I got to bring some friends that I trust, that I have vetted, that I've been working with for a long time, that I think are some of the most profitable bettors in the industry along for the ride. So, producer Jacob, hi, hello. We're back. Is it 9 games? I think it's 9 games. Let's get to the picks. I just realized Jordan Klein's going to definitely point out the old school fax machine that my dad has, but that's neither here nor there. Memphis, they're not very old school. They play very, very fast. Indy, they do kind of the same thing there in terms of pace. 249.5 totals as big as I've seen all season long. For something to almost be in the 250 section, you know it's going to be moving. But coming back from the break, John Morant should be good as far as the minutes go. Have no issue whatsoever. No issue whatsoever. Just firing up everything ad nauseum here from the jump because I think it's just going to be John Morant out there for 34 minutes. You'll get a little bit of Scottie Pippen, Luke Kennard, and then Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane. This team has gotten so much healthier than what they've been at other points this season. In fact, Cam Spencer, Johnny Davis, the only 2 guys that are on the injury report. And you have Marvin Bagley off of the injury report. You might see him for a couple of minutes or maybe blowout run if that occurs. I can't imagine he's going to be a major part of the rotation in any way, shape, or form. GG Jackson been playing good ball. Memphis has so many pieces front to back. As for Indy, it's just one of those spots I look at where Miles Turner off the injury report, a big deal for this team. They obviously were looking to move him at the deadline. I think the minutes should be pretty secure right from the jump, but Memphis money line is the only play that I could even consider that I look at right now. I think all the props look pretty efficient. I think you're going to be playing 10, 12 deep here on Memphis on a nightly basis. And Indy, kind of the same thing for them. They do have Quentin Jackson, Enrique Freeman, Ray J. Dennis, whoever that is. All these guys don't really matter. Jahlil Okafor off the injury report. Thomas Bryant is there. I mean, they could play 4 different types of centers. Like Obi Toppin, what are those minutes going to look like on a nightly basis? I don't know. Props, really hard to get a grasp on, even in a 250 total. Oh, man, sad times. Not sad times if you're a Philly fan. Things are getting a little bit better for you. Well, 1, you won the Super Bowl, and 2, everybody off the injury report that matters here taking on Boston at home. And Boston struggled last time that they were in Philly, but there was no Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey went complete scorched earth, and then Jason Tatum went scorched earth in the 4th quarter along with Jaylen Brown to solidify that one. Oh, weird second half that was. I think Philly was up by 20-something late in that 3rd quarter, early 4th. Anywho, as I look at this one, I never care about, what just happened in the previous game because things change so much week in, week out in the NBA and day in, day out if you're the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid off the injury report, Paul George off the injury report, Tyrese Maxey off the injury report, and Quentin Grimes more than likely there to stay in the starting lineup. Not sure what Dallas is doing. I think we all can say that. But Quentin Grimes was somebody who looked really good in the preseason, had been improved from his Knicks days, looked as though he was going to be a major part of that rotation. And yet it took a lot of injuries for him to ever really show up and have that come to fruition. I think he's going to flourish and have a really decent second half of the NBA season with these Philadelphia 76ers. Would be surprised if they started like a Ricky Council the fourth or a Yabu Sealy over Quentin Grimes there. Obviously certain matchups will see them go big and have Yabu Sealy out on the floor. You can make a case for it, but oh man, I definitely like the Philly side of this one, but sits at 8.5 at one book minus 115. Can we either get minus 110 or can we get up to 9? If it gets up to 9, I'm going to play it immediately minus 115 or better. But I think we want to just be a little bit cautious whenever it's Boston, especially Boston starting to play at full strength, which is kind of what they've got here. Drew Holiday off the injury report, Jaylen Brown off the injury report, only Xavier Tillman on their side that's out. And Philly, for what it's worth, their bench a little bit thin with no Justin Edwards, no Kyle Lowry, no Lonnie Walker, who's now on this team, and Eric Gordon. But overall, I'm just going to wait for this one. If it gets to 9, hit it. Now we can get ourselves some plays. Orlando, 1.5 point favorites taking on Atlanta. And Atlanta, interesting stuff at the deadline because I do think that they improved and Cleveland improved with the DeAndre Hunter addition. They're going to have Mohamed Gay be the guy on the Atlanta side who's going to be starting week in, week out more than likely. And then you're going to have off the bench the guy that I think that they've really improved with, that being the one, the only, Caris LeVert. Now, Caris LeVert, for those who don't know, probably has his minutes opened up even more with Vit Krejci out for this one. You wouldn't think that would matter all that much, but I'm seeing 12.5 for the points prop for Caris LeVert against Orlando. It's a pretty hefty number as you're working through. And then again, I get kind of caught by surprise these first games back, and these props have been out for a couple of days, so they've kind of been bet into form, and yet I kind of disagree with this specifically because Franz Wagner alongside Paolo Banchero has been by far the guy leading in usage. Over 30% usage, getting to go up against Orlando. And how many times do you see 222.5 total for the Orlando Magic? The answer, not very frequently. So we're going to go to Franz Wagner as your first play because I've got him closer to 29.5. That is over 27.5 points, which is even money right now over on FanDuel.com. I think alongside Paolo, he's going to continue to win in usage. And Mohamed Gay seems as though he's somebody who can kind of have those minutes jerked around a little bit. I don't know. I could probably work on my phrasing in the second half of the NBA season. Next game. Yeah, we're going to let that one lie. Cleveland plus 13.5 taking on Brooklyn. Producer Jacob. It's my first weird look that I've gotten from him in the second half of the NBA season. Very excited for it. Anyway, if you have been paying attention to this video for the first couple of months, you probably have realized Evan Mobley's a wagon. He was a wagon until the wheels came off. Now, we've played his three-pointers, 2+ three-pointers 7 times this season. We're 5-2, and obviously the 2 or more ones, we've also laddered up in a couple of those outings where we went to 3 and to 4. He's hit the 4 for us the one time, hit 3 for us another. Again, it is still a very profitable man in Evan Mobley for us this season. And I think we're going to see those minutes ramped up in Brooklyn, 224.5 total. That just speaks to the efficiency of the Cleveland offense because that's a big total for Brooklyn that is playing by far at the slowest pace in the entire NBA coming into this break. Over their last 10 games, less than 94 possessions per 100. That is a ridiculously lethargic pace, by far the slowest in the NBA over that sample size. And yes, they're still the slowest paced team, second being Orlando there over the course of this NBA season. But what I said before, DeAndre Hunter, I think he improves this Cleveland team. I think that gives them another floor spacer. And I do think he's probably going to have all of his sixth man tickets dead for people sooner rather than later because, well, Ty Jerome, Isaac Okoro, I think they're going to continue to come off the bench. And yeah, Max Strus started last time, but I think there's going to be times that they want to mix in DeAndre Hunter in the starting lineup. I don't think that's going to be here. And I think that gives Evan Mobley the chance to be a floor spacer. I don't think people realize how good he was this entire season, shooting well over 40% from 3 now. Obviously, the quantity is what we're the most worried about because he's never been a three-point shooter until this season under Kenny Atkinson, new head coach coming in, should win coach of the year for what it's worth. But 37.5% now is where he's dipped down to after some really slow three-point shooting percentages. And 0 for 1, 0 for 1, 0 for 3. 3 of his last 4 hasn't looked as good in terms of quantity, but he got dinged up. He had lots of chances where things kind of went awry for him. It was 0 for 4, by the way, for what it's worth. But 3 of his last 5, that being the same correct thing, hasn't hit this number, but it's nice plus money now. I'm going to make it a lean light purely because I think Bet365, damn good find. Talking to you one more time. Get out. Oh, they're going to have better odds once they open. They just don't have them out yet. And he's routinely been where we've been able to fire this up and get the best price. I'll wait till tomorrow. One more, and then we'll obviously talk the Lindy Discord and all the good things going on there. We got Chicago, 13.5-point dogs going to New York. I think this is a little bit wide, if you ask me, purely because we got news already. Josh Hart going to be out. OG Anunoby is questionable, and I think this really throws into flux what the rotations could be here, because Landry Shamet probably going to get some time. Cam Payne has played really serviceable, going to get some time. And Miles McBride, if OG Anunoby is out, I think he could end up being a spot starter, although I think Landry Shamet fits more of the landscape of what this team might need. Having somebody who can sit out in the corner and shoot threes, that's literally OG Anunoby's job on this offense when you have Jalen Brunson and Cat playing at the level they are. As for the Bulls, just to touch on it, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, I think we start to get that being your starting core 3. Once Lonzo Ball gets going here again, he's off the injury report. They do have Kevin Huerter, who we've had some really grimy looks at a couple of times here. He's gotten low 20s minutes in the early going of his Bulls tenure, but basically unplayable here in this spot as I look at the numbers, even against the Knicks team. 244.5 total, huge total with these two offenses. You're getting some defense off the floor in Josh Hart. You're getting some more offense. Miles McBride, when he decides to play offense again, that would be fun. But I look at Cat and Brunson as potential points, ladders guys. Now, why is that? Well, they dominate in terms of usage. Cat had 2 40-plus bombs leading into the break. Now, that being said, I don't know which of the two is going to be more interesting because I repeat, Bet365 has been the spot where you routinely want to fire these up, and they don't have the numbers because they've been a little bit more cautious leading into the All-Star break, as you should be with Josh Hart pending now, or he's out, but OG Anunoby pending. Ooh, we might have to be firing. I'm not going to fire both. I'm going to fire one of the two. We'll see tomorrow in the Discord. Oh, speaking of, first week, $10. First month, $25. Lindy 50. That, friends, is the Tails Discord. I've got a nice little section there, the Lindy Discord, but it's not just Lindy's Locks now. It is Lindy's. At Lindy and Friends. I should be able to name. I named it. I should know. Lindy and Friends. That is going to be me bringing in a lot of my favorite cappers, not just here at Odd Shopper and at Tails and at Stochastic, but also other friends from the Tails community. Can't wait to be bringing you some free access to those enjoyable human beings. The price will not change on your screen. It is not going to be changing. So if anything, you're just getting more bang for your buck, more options to be able to tail some people that I really trust and I really think can make you some money. Hey, Tonchan, they're just looking at you, my friend. But anyway, first week, $10, first month, $25. Would love to see you there. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We also have some great link join opportunities down there. If you guys want to sign up with one of our 11 sportsbook partners, talk to you about that later. But anyway, we've got the Clippers in Milwaukee up in this one. And major news with Giannis Antetokounmpo, because if he doesn't end up playing here in this spot, that's really going to matter. And he's on the injury report along with Andre Jackson and Damian Lillard. Yeah, 2 of those 3 names matter a lot. I'll let you guess which. Anyway, we got the Clippers, and this was my first play that I ended up firing. Well, actually, technically second play that I ended up firing. Devin Vassell, we'll talk about him later. I want to talk about him so bad. But the Clippers, I think they're a little bit undervalued, getting a 1.5 here with those pending Q tags. Now, it's going to fluctuate one way or another, but I want to point out Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, if he is able to play some major minutes for this Clippers team, it changes the dynamic for them defensively with him off the bench. If you watch that first game, that is not the type of Ben Simmons that I'm accustomed to seeing. 27 minutes in his Clippers debut, 4 for 5 from the field, 12, 7, and 6. If Ty Lue unlocks him, this could get a little bit freaky. And plus, that is another body you can definitely throw out there on a big front court of Brook Lopez and Giannis if he plays. But obviously, having this ticket, I hope he doesn't. Go ahead. Take the load off, Annie, or Giannis. Charlotte on a back-to-back, taking on Denver here in this spot, 14.5-point dogs. And got to tell you, 227.5. This is a big total here for Charlotte playing slower. And I don't expect Lonzo Ball to be playing on this back-to-back. LaMelo Ball. I should be able to clarify. I should know that. It's kind of my job. But LaMelo Ball, he is going to be more than likely out for this one. I might try to pounce on some lines early if they drop and they end up having him factored in as somebody who's playing basketball on Thursday night. Because I repeat, I do not think that he will on the back-to-back. That could also make me look silly. It's coming off the All-Star break where he didn't have a lot to do. But Denver, this is a team that's getting a little bit healthier themselves. Jamal Murray off the injury report, Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon off the injury report. You got Russell Westbrook off the injury report as well. So some of these teams that were kind of putting these package goods, together for trade packages, and then it didn't come to fruition, or, leading into the All-Star break, because it's literally 5 days of doing nothing. Or, Paul George did a lot in Cancun, it looked like. Must be nice. Anyway, we are definitely looking at Denver, if anything, here at 14.5, because Mark Williams, can he play on the back-to-back? I don't know. The game hasn't started. We got to watch the Lakers and Hornets play first, so that's going to matter big time. But Denver 14.5, this could go to 17.5 really, really quickly. I don't need the investment because I know how many props I'm going to end up finding here tomorrow as injury news is rolling out, as I'm utilizing Portfolio EV. But Denver 14.5, definitely going to be a lean for now. Phoenix, 2.5 points that they are now laying against San Antonio, and flippity floppity, because Victor Wembanyama, doubtful for this basketball game. That flipped the line, and producer Jake, it's like the Uno reverse card. At least my skin looked good today. Anyway, I'm ridiculous, and don't even worry about it. Devin Vassell, over 17.5 points. He's at minus 102. He was at 14.5 before that number ended up moving up to account for Victor Wembanyama. He's definitely the main usage beneficiary. Now, De'Aaron Fox is playing a different role for this team. Lots of potential assists in the early going of his San Antonio career. I'm going to have a thread about that over at Eric Lindquist over on X. So if you guys want to follow me over there, I'm going to be breaking down every single one of these games from a prop perspective. So excited to bring you that. Get back into the prop streets and cover some of that explicitly for you. Explicitly? Exclusively. Not a Bonnie Blues situation here. Don't Google that. Devin Vassell over 17.5 points, minus 102. He's not the father. Lakers, 4.5 points that they are laying here. Man, pop culture getting deep here. They are the last game of the night, and they're about to tip off here against Charlotte. So we're going to be paying attention to that one big time, purely because they're the only two teams on back-to-backs. They're the first game coming out of the break on Wednesday night. So here's the big thing. LeBron James is expected to play. We got news that he is expected to play, which I'm a little disappointed about because a lot of the parlays I thought that were most interesting, that had the most upside, we're hoping that he was going to rest for this Portland spot, considering, I don't know, they're going to be double-digit favorites if LeBron played or did not play against Charlotte there on Wednesday. And now they're going to Portland where they need him more, but maybe he wants to stay back, get some conditioning work in, don't need any of those. Not going to make a Justin Tucker joke. Come on now. Lakers, Portland. This is just such a weird one, friends. This is just a weird one because I don't think LeBron ends up playing basketball if he plays on Wednesday night. Coming off of the All-Star break, Portland money line, I think, is very much in play at plus 152. You might want to jump on it earlier this evening if you're listening to this, obviously recording this where you can consume this content here still on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, it might be too late. This might be inside of plus 130 to account for somebody resting. Now, I don't think Austin Reeves will be that guy. I think Luka has a chance to sit, and I definitely think LeBron sits if he plays on Wednesday night. So take that for what you will. Portland money line, very intriguing, even though I still don't think they're that good. And that does it for the first back from break. Lindy's leans, likes, and locks in the NBA streets. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely slate we have before us. At Eric Lindquist, that's where you can go follow me. And then the Tails Discord, throw it up on the screen one more time for the people. Producer Jacob, we got Lindy 50, $10 for your first week, 25 for your first month, using that promo code. And I repeat, new channels jumping in, new faces, great places, South Dakota. That used to be the was great faces, great places. Nobody cares? Cool, let's get out of here. Producer Jacob, thank you so much for another day in the books. Good to be back with you all. I'll be here on Friday. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.